Hello everyone! In this video I'm going to show you how to recreate several anime creatures using acrylic yarn to decorate your house for Halloween! The easiest of them are sprites of dust from the animated movie My Neighbor Totoro, which look just like a pom-pom. To make pom-pom, I am rolling acrylic yarn around my fingers. And when I think that's enough, I am pulling a thread between my fingers and making a knot around the future pom-pom to fix the threads on place. And when my fingers are free, I am making a knot tighter and then adding one additional double knot. To make the pom-pom hairy like a real creature, I took a brush for cats and brushed it. This trick will work just with acrylic yarn, because it's made of synthetic fibers that are much longer than natural wool. After brushing, I am correcting the form of the pom-pom with scissors. It's so fluffy! Only one thing is left. To add some eyes. I'm using those googly eyes from the shop, but you can also make some out of felt or buttons. This was Makuro Korosuke for you. The next creatures are coming from Spirited Away and are called Susuwatari, or suit sprites. Even though Wikipedia says it's the same thing as Makuro Korosuke, there is at least one difference: they have limbs. So I make a new but absolutely same pompon as before and poke it with two floral wires, one for arms and one for legs. Make sure that both wires go through the ring in the middle of the pompon and are fixed. I'm folding the legs and arms in form and cutting the excess wire. When the skeleton is settled, I'm going to wrap the yarn around it. But my yarn is too thick, so first I split it up and got 4 thinner threads. Then I applied some glue to the edges of the arms and then started to wrap a thread around the wire. The end of the thread I also fixed with glue. The first arm I could pull out of the pompon a bit to fix the thread, but with the second arm it was quite challenging not to glue the pompon to it, but I somehow managed not to ruin anything. In the movie, Susuwatari were eating candies that had the form of a star, so I also made some origami lucky stars out of paper for scrapbooking. This paper was actually a bit too hard for this purpose, but looks good. And the star came out very strong and stable. Then I just glued it to his arms like if he is holding the candy, fixed eyes, and he is done. Next creature is coming from the anime series Pet Shop of Horrors. His name is Q-chan, and he is the favorite pet of the shop owner, Count D. To recreate Q-chan, I will need 3 pompons. One I made on 4 fingers, like previous ones, and 2 other pompons I made just on 2 fingers. To make the pompons look not like yarn but like hair, I brushed them with a cat brush and trimmed in form. if the knot in the middle comes out too loose, better to make an additional one. To make the pet be able to stand, I decided to make a wire skeleton for him. I put the biggest pom-pom on the wire like a bead, making a cross, and then putting the next pom-pom. The ends of this wire will become his ears later, so don't cut it too short. Next, I poked the lower pom-pom with one more wire to create legs. At the beginning I planned to make him just out of 2 pom-poms, but at this point I realized that it's not enough, so I pulled these 2 pom-poms tighter and added one more pom-pom to the top. Now he have a head, chest and a butt. After the body form is corrected, I stuck one wire into the middle pom-pom, so it will turn into his hands. I wrapped it with yarn same as before, just use more layers of yarn this time to create the shape. To protect the pom-pom from the glue, I poked a sheet of paper with his second arm. Kind of a scientist myself. And when it's wrapped and glue is dry, I can just rip off the paper and remove it. For ears I cut 2 bigger pieces out of fleece and 2 smaller pieces out of beige felt. Again protected the pom-poms with a sheet of paper and glued ears to the wires. Usually I prefer to use regular glue for the small details, but on spots where I need a quick grab, hot glue is the best. Then I cut out his future feet and wings out of a black felt. To make the wings keep form, I glued a wire to them as well, first a V-shaped wire to the middle and then to the sides. All of the wires I covered with a stripe of felt. When glue is dry, I can cut all of the excess wire and felt from the bottom and fix the ends on the top together. Later I will glue some white felt on it to create thumbs. When wings are done, I folded a loop in the middle and wrapped the wings around the wire between first and second pom-pom. Now it's fixed, very stable and clean. Then I glued feet. and started making a tail just like the other parts. In places where glue showed up, I covered it with black pastels. The tail was fixed the same way as the wings, just I folded it to go around the body to the front to balance the weight. For the horns, I made just 2 cones out of white felt and glued them to the bottom of ears. I didn't have any beans in size fitting for eyes, so I took the smallest googly eyes, but used only irises. I glued them on pom-pom and Q-chan is done. If you are following me on Instagram, you may have noticed that I was making one more creature for this video, but since he was more complex, he deserved his own. To not miss it, you can subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button. Thanks for watching and see you soon!